Happy Friday, everybody. There's still some pool construction going on. It looks like today they're lining the edges of the pool. I'm hoping that's not what the tile is, but because if that's what they replaced the tile out with, oh my god, even. But anyway, they're still doing some minor work on the pool today. They have not resurfaced it. But anyway, I wanted to cover this because it kind of gets into a topic that I faced in 2018. And I know there's a lot of people that get really fucking pissed off when I talk about this particular subject of how shady the dude was that I was volunteering for in 2018. And they all want to protect him because they're all predator protectors that way. But this was something that I was arguing with him about before he started getting abusive with me. I can't get it to 0. Oh, there we go. I got it to 0.
Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we actually have the uprising, the rebirth of the Alicia Dougherty. Is this a little bit sneaky suspicious or not? Dare I say it might even be a kerfuffle. Anyone who has watched me for a long enough time about Alicia, me talking about Alicia, will know that I've always been highly suspicious of Alicia when she tries to do her like acts of services, i.e. the sandwich gate, which I actually still have like a piece of artwork that one of my viewers did, which I still absolutely love and I need more of it. They're basically her making like 200 different sandwiches.
That image totally made me start thinking about planning for Mother's Day, to be honest. And I was like starting to fantasize about like how I want next Mother's Day to go, which is funny because like I'm going to be turning 50 in April, and that should be a bigger thing for me to worry about. But anyway, shall we continue?
And then it turns out that she didn't actually donate it to where she said she was going to donate it, because people were doing like Scooby-Doo in the gang, and they were like phoning up this place or whatever they were doing, and they said no, like we never got 200 sandwiches and whatever. Then you then have, you know, when Alicia said that she would do every single month, she'd donate Dougherty Dozen Give Back. And they put it on their website and everything, and then people donated, and then they didn't give any back. Like, she never mentioned it ever again. So she's done this kind of thing before.
That's so wild too, because Amy's been covering her grocery hauls for a while, and it's kind of crazy, right? Am I getting some of these vloggers mixed up in my head? I think this is the one that they adopt a lot of foster children, and then they buy an insane amount of food at like Costco, and probably not all of it's actually even getting eaten, but they want to like combine their channel with not only being like a family vlogger channel, but also look how great I can cook food channel type of thing. I think that's this channel, but I don't know. I'm like so confused by how many channels are out there right now.
Also, whenever she decides to do these, okay, and we are for National whatever day, or for Read for whatever day, we're going to be donating, or we're going to be buying, or something. There's always like a tinge of, And this isn't I'm not beating, like, you know what? To be fair to her, she's a better woman than me because she's actually out there trying to do it. But whether or not she's doing it for good intentions is always up for discussion. Just to clarify what I'm actually talking about, because I just went on a tangent for about a minute. So basically, the people of Reddit, and by Reddit I mean both subreddits, because there are 2 subreddits to do with the Dougherty Dozen, and both of them are on high alert over this Read for Read, or whatever it's called thing. So I'll play you the TikTok in which Alicia first mentioned this.
Monday mini vlog for World Kindness Day. This Monday we're doing things a little different. We're volunteering with the Read for Read 83 Foundation to give back to the Boys and Girls Club Reading Assembly Literacy event. We ended up with a pretty good haul of 43 books, so we packed them up and went over to check out. We're so excited to bring you on our adventure to hand out these books this week.
Alicia's out here with some of her kids, and she is purchasing these books saying that, you know, it's for the girls and boys club or whatever. We haven't got anything like that around here, or we do, but it's just not called that, so I'm not 100% familiar on what that term really means. Just kind of making a big thing out of it, and everyone was like, wow, that's so nice of you, you know, all this and that. But the people of Reddit, Scooby-Doo and the gang over there, were not buying it whatsoever. And I didn't think anything of this whole read for read thing until the people of Reddit spoke. They have spoken out on this, and they don't think that Alicia was doing it for the right cause.
Critics and audiences proclaim.
And just to break it down before I actually read out some of the receipts that these people have, what it transpired to be is that read for read, in the sense of what she was like going for, was actually out in Buffalo, which is apparently like 74 miles away from where she lives. And it's actually owned, or like it's designed, or it's made up by company director, whoever, whatever, foundation board, whoever, whatever, like one of the top people is actually an ex-Buffalo Bills player. And what the people of Reddit was saying was that she had traveled all that way to do work with their foundation, but she didn't want to do work with the people of Rochester, where she actually lives. So instead of like going to a girls and boys club and like doing the same thing like within her area, she wanted to like try and associate herself with the Buffalo Bills in some sort of way. I know.
Yeah, see, this was one of the arguments that I had leading up to before I was sexually assaulted by the leader of our revolution, Costa Mesa. And my complaint was that he was recruiting volunteers from our local area in Orange County, which Costa Mesa is about midway down the coast in Orange County. And it's right next to the Santa Ana River, where we had a 7-mile-long encampment of homeless people camped out. And this activist, if you will, in air quotes, rather than work with local, qualified people who have been working on this problem for a long time, decided that he would recruit volunteers from the neighborhood to go to LA and participate in Mel Tillicanartney's homeless tourism instead. So he would bring them up to work with Carlos Marroquin and Mel Tillicanartney in Skid Row in Los Angeles, which is roughly the same distance. It's maybe slightly less than 74 miles, but it's roughly the same distance. And he would get people to go camp out, take space away from homeless people, put these volunteers in dangerous situations, and convince them that you need to know what it feels like to be homeless. So it was like a vacation experience for these volunteers to be like, I'm gonna learn how to do this. I don't even care if I get arrested. I literally heard that out of the words of one of the volunteers. I would love to be arrested, is what she said to me. And that's not how you help homeless people. And I don't think that trying to have some sort of fandom from participating with a Buffalo Bills dude is a better bet than helping your local community. Because all politics are local, you guys.
Like, this is just so silly. But I'm telling you, every single time Alicia does anything like this, there is always some sort of motive. And I'm not an anti-Alicia person, but it's true. Like, every single time she does any of these things, there's usually some sort of ulterior motive going on. And I think Reddit may have cracked the case with this. Now, before we get into this, I'm just going to say that it doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Like, she's still done a good deed. I'm still saying that she's doing good deeds and she's trying to promote other people to do good deeds. However, there is always an ulterior motive.
Right.
That is my whole point. With Alicia, there is always an ulterior motive. And I will never, ever, 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 ever let it down with the fact that she said she was going to be raising money every single month for a different charity. And then she didn't, and then she never mentioned it ever again. And this was the beginning of this year. I will never forget that. They went on this great big tangent about how they were going to give back, because we all know Alicia spends an ungodly amount of money over Christmas, which fair enough, she's got a lot of kids, but we know, I'm not being mean, but we know this. She was getting a lot of backlash. So then she thought, okay, to get people off of my backs, I'm going to do it right. At the beginning of every single month, people are going to donate, and then we're going to pick a charity, and then the proceedings will go to that, and Alicia will match it. Well, that never happened, and she never carried that on for the rest of the year. She just stopped doing it, and it's like, come on now, people.
Yeah, seriously, if you are, you've got a monetized channel, you're making a lot of money, if you're going to advertise that you're going to do a charity match, you better fucking follow through on that. God damn it. Oh my God. Wow.
Of Reddit. So this is what Reddit has to say. Thank you very much, Reddit, for ideas for this video. So someone said, so now she is suddenly charitably buying books for a foundation that just so happens to be run by ex-Hall of Fame Andre Reed for the Buffalo Bills, and made sure she was there. Why didn't she just donate online? Reed with Reed 83 was doing this round for the Boys and Girls Club of America in Buffalo, which is 74 miles away. Why didn't she buy these books for the Boy and Girls Club of Rochester? Because this is obviously about her trying to meet up and try to fake impress Reed and any other players there to get her crew aligned with the Buffalo Bills. This is truly so transparent and disgusting. Now, I don't know if necessarily like the Buffalo, if this is exactly what the Buffalo Bills are wanting to associate themselves with, although I do know that they have been invited for various different like stadium games of different levels. Like, I remember I've seen quite a few, so I don't put it completely past her. Reddit were flagging up the fact that there is in fact a picture. There is a picture on the actual foundation's website. I don't know how they found this. Like I say, Scooby-Doo and the gang over there. Yeah, with her standing there. And I'm pretty sure she did actually bring a couple of her kids as well. Now, I can understand, obviously, like if your kids are fans of the Buffalo.
That looks like a press section. That doesn't look like stadium seating. That looks like a press section. It doesn't even look like a suite. Like, I've been in suites before.
Bills, I don't know, like if they are into that kind of thing, then obviously that's going to be in her mind. Just be like, oh, try and shimmy over here. Maybe she is wanting to get some sort of a thing out of it. You just never know. But this is highlighting my whole entire point with the fact that if she had actually donated those 200 sandwiches, which we know she didn't, if she actually had donated those sandwiches, she would have had a photo op, just like she's got a little photo op right here. And sure enough, they did in fact flag up, donate to Boys and Girls Clubs of Rochester, join us in creating great futures for the next generation. So yes, so she could have gone closer to home, and she has actually picked somewhere else that would make her align with these other people. Which, is that an ulterior motive? It might be. It might just be an ulterior motive. Maybe she is going to be sponsored by them. Maybe she's not. Maybe she just wanted to get her kids in there. I don't really know. But I do know that there is nearly always an ulterior motive with Alicia. Always. And I don't mean this in like a horrible way, but it's just been proven time and time again that there nearly is always an ulterior motive, as annoying as that is to say. Someone else said this is a whole lot of effort and time for her to expend on a weeknight, no less, 1 hour plus from where she lives, when she could have volunteered much closer to home with much less effort. I'm sure this had to do with getting autographs or a desire to be affiliated with
At Urban Plates,
Yeah.
third
with an NFL team, there is always an ulterior motive with everything she does. Now, yeah, I don't know. Like, I do feel like, yeah, she could have gone closer to home for that. But once again, like, I'm not gonna be here like knocking the fact that she is obviously trying to do something goodly. Like, she's trying to do something charitable. That's not what I'm knocking. But I think
No, but you're right to assume that a lot of people who are trying to engage in what they assume to be charity are also looking for some sort of clout or recognition in doing so. And that's been my experience in the organizations that I've contributed my time to, is that it's much less about improving our local neighborhoods and much more about rubbing elbows with the rich and famous.
that if what she was going on about, if she was actually wanting to do it for this particular cause, she wouldn't do it. She would just do it. Like, she probably wouldn't film herself doing it, and she would do it somewhere a lot closer to home, that would actually benefit the kids that live in their area, rather than doing it for another foundation or the same. I don't know how it works, or doing it somewhere that's like 74 plus miles away when there's also like NFL players there. Do you know what I mean? It's like help the kids in your area, NFL players. And I'll bet she invited herself to this event. Rochester has a boys and girls club. Why would she drive over an hour to Buffalo? Someone else said probably because a former Bills players foundation helped in the reading room renovation. Andre Reed was there. Some of the Buffalo Bills players were there. Who knows? Now, do I think that Alicia, like, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't? I feel like Alicia does get called out for pretty much anything that she does, and she kind of, like, I don't know, like, if she hadn't have gone with this opportunity, then maybe she would have like done herself in, because she wouldn't have gotten like business ops and all this kind of stuff. But then, because she has gone with this opportunity, people are then saying, well, actually, do you know what? You're just doing it because you want to weasel your way in and you want to get this and that. Like, it's not actually about giving back, because if it was about giving back, she would have stuck to that 12 months of giving back. Anyway, I do feel like Alicia a lot of the time is damned if you do, damned if you don't. And that is that's my consensus. And it is nice, ultimately, it is nice that she has decided to donate, even if her motivations weren't 100% with it. They were kind of like, side-eyeing somewhere else. It's like that meme with the guy with the girl, and then a hot girl walks past, and the guy's like looking behind, and his girlfriend's all upset. It's a bit like that. So
No. You're getting that meme wrong. It's not that a hot girl walks past. It's that the same exact girl walks past, and he looks at her as though she's a better temptation than the person he's walking with, who is the exact same girl. That's what the meme is. How can people not get this?
So, I don't know. This was just like a whole lot of nothing, really. But I do think it's pretty interesting to note, because this is just like another tick on Alicia's, like, what, like, I don't even get it anymore. All I wanted to say, this is the shortest video ever, but yeah, that's pretty much it. I wouldn't be surprised if we hear a bit more about this anyway. I know that kind of TikTok just went like semi innocuous, like no one really cared about it that much, but there was some deeper meaning behind it. Okay, like, she is still trying to do things that will align herself with bigger business opportunities, which is what a lot of people do, but then she'll never kind of admit to that. She always puts on her front of, it's for this cause, when really there are other things that are going to benefit her. And I do think ultimately, if you want to do a good deed, don't film yourself doing it. But that's...
Yeah, I'm such a good person, right? Like, I'm such a good person because I'm trying to, create relationships and saddle up with other people, get some internet clout, and I'm totally ignoring the problems in my own neighborhood, right? This is how they roll.
Just my own personal opinion, and she might have just been wanting to promote the foundation, which essentially is what she was doing anyway. That is all I wanted to say. I hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in...
Yes, and, you know, it's all for entertainment purposes, and, you know, we have fair use, and we're not experts. Don't draw any conclusions. Blah, 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 with the disclaimers. Anyway, point being, you should not be using charity as a way to boost your profile. I mean, sure, it looks good on a resume, but, like, you don't have to, like, show live stream videos of you an hour away from your home, which I've seen a lot of people do. Doing shit. Now, let me address one elephant in the room on that. Yes, I did work for Unite Here, and one of the campaigns that I worked on was in Los Angeles, so I had to commute to that job. But it was a paid ass job, y'all. It was a paid job. I fed my canvassers, and I ultimately got injured to the degree that I have a permanent disability. So I don't think it's the same thing. It's not like I was going up there and being like, I'm so fucking cool. Because, in fact, when I started doing the LA campaign, I started live streaming a lot less, because I was too busy during shift to do it. When I was down here in Laguna Beach, which is right over the hill from me, I did a lot of live streams because I was the only one in the field many times. I mean, there were some times when we had additional people come down and help with the canvas, but a lot of the time, I was the only person in the field. And I was walking very, very steep terrain. So I did take breaks and do some live streams. Because I thought it was important to actually get the issue out and, get people on board with what we were doing, especially because I have a local community that message can permeate through my neighborhood. I can't do that in LA. I haven't lived in LA since I was a teenager. You know? So, like, what's the point of doing a bunch of live streams up there when I don't really have a lot of LA content? I mean, I have some, but they're all retired at this point, right? But this is some clout chasing bullshit, if you ask me.